my take at 10. What a balls up. England's new patron saint, Gary Lineker, a man holier and more virtuous than Mother Teresa and Gandhi combined, strikes again. Never one to miss the chance of some moral posturing, goal-hanging PR opportunist Lineker has spoken out about tonight's Champions League final. He tweeted the following: "This is the first time I'll be cheering for Real Madrid in a Champions League final." Now, as a former player for Madrid's arch-rivals Barcelona, this defection is significant. So why has it happened? Well, because the German side Dortmund have signed a 3-year sponsorship deal with weapons manufacturer Rheinmetall. Now, Gary Lineker is not a stupid person. Following a stellar career on the pitch, it was a storied transition to broadcasting. And let me tell you, he's worth every penny of that £1.3 million a year of licence fee payers' cash to introduce football clips. He is also a leading media entrepreneur, producing some of the most listened to podcasts in the country. So how did it escape the attention of this bright man that our democracies and our freedoms are protected and defended by the weapons produced like companies such as Rheinmetall? In the same way that weapons firms protected the United Kingdom in the face of Hitler during the Second World War. In fact, we should big up, not cancel, Rheinmetall, who have produced some of the armaments which are now helping Ukraine defend themselves against Vladimir Putin. Gary Lineker, easy to mix the two up. Now, I'm very confused because I thought Gary Lineker was very supportive of Ukraine and their battle for survival. But now he wants to take their weapons away. I'm very, very confused. After all, they're going to need weapons with which to defend themselves. They can't fight by sending off tweets like Gary does. That won't save them. In a previously deleted tweet, Gary's always deleting his tweets, he said that nuclear weapons have prevented war, but only hypothetically. Now, what is hypothetical about the fact that no country with nuclear weapons has ever been invaded, or that Ukraine were after they were getting rid of them, or that the so-called nuclear deterrent single-handedly ended the Cold War? It doesn't sound very hypothetical to me. For an intelligent man like Gary Lineker, he says an amazing number of silly things, and for someone so progressive and caring and kind, he says a lot of offensive things too, often at the same time, including this description of the single biggest attack on Jewish people since the Holocaust, October the 7th. Take a listen.
Obviously, we all know what, October 7th happened and, the Hamas thing, but
the slaughter of over 1,000 innocent people, including youngsters attending a peace music festival, and the taking of over 200 hostages, or as Gary likes to call it, the Hamas thing. Now, many people love Gary Lineker. He has over 8 million followers on Twitter. And plenty of folk would argue that he's been very consistent about his concerns for human rights, poverty, inequality, his compassion for refugees. He's even taken refugees into his own home. He hates war, he hates death, he hates destruction. Who could disagree? But let's look at actions, not words. Concern for human rights, whilst taking £400,000 a year for 4 years, from 2009 to 2013, from the Qatari state to present football. Qatar, where it's illegal to be gay, sometimes punishable by death, where women are second-class citizens, and where modern-day slavery is part of the business model. Perhaps Gary regrets working for the Qatari state broadcaster Al Jazeera at the time. But there wasn't much sign of regret when he returned to the country to present the 2022 World Cup in stadia built by the aforementioned modern slaves, thousands of whom fell to their death in perilous working conditions and in crippling 45 degrees centigrade heat. But that's okay, because whilst barking in the Qatari sunshine, Gary did a short monologue about the importance of human rights. Gary Lineker is one of the good guys, the Be Kind crowd. So kind that this idol of the progressive left battled HMRC in court to reduce his tax bill by almost £5 million. So kind that for decades he has flogged junk food to children amid an obesity epidemic. A guy who's worried about climate change but has flown around the world, driven fast cars and presented football shows in vast air-conditioned stadia in the desert. His defence at the time: we are all hypocrites. Are we, Gary? With his bizarre boycott of an arms manufacturer whose products help protect democratic nations against tyrannical regimes, this latest Lineker rant about war is weapons-grade nonsense. Sorry, Gary, but you're firing blanks.